coming to this particular channel, checking me out. This your boy Hood. We watching Black Outrage number 14. And that's a funny one because in this particular one, I was talking about Corey Holcomb and how he actually was making a funny statement. I don't even know if he want to call it funny because he be serious a lot of times in the shit he be saying. But this one was kind of weird because the people, this was just a funny one. So welcome to the channel. Welcome to the page. You're watching Black Outrage. Number 14, a little series we've been doing. We talk about the different issues and everything like that. And I thought this was a weird one because, guys like Corey Holcomb, they got a funny take on things. And sometimes you think of these things yourself. You might even believe these things yourself, but you just hear people say it and stuff. So let me get to the section. All right, here you go right here. Let's pop this over, and we're going to let Corey do his thing.
Yeah, I don't think I could talk about it. It's okay if you step away and go talk to him. It's okay. But what I'm saying is...
What up, Takuba?
When a man speaks to you as a woman, if you grew up in the city life, when a man speaks to you, there's reason for alarm. I hate to say that, but if you from the city, these major hubs, Chicago, LA, New York, all that, if a man speaks to you, there is reason for alarm, because most men who are trying to speak to you, listen to this, are bitch raised. So if they was brought up by a bitch, do they know how to act?
Hell no.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They take rejection personally. You could say it just like Darlene said. Oh, well, I got somebody. Them motherfuckers who are bitch raised, men who are bitch raised, the first thing they do is say, if you got a man, where you at?
Yeah.
What?
I'm going to pause it right there because that's kind of funny. Because, as guys, everybody's out there trying to meet somebody new, hustle, meet a girl, have money, you know what I'm saying, go out here and meet girls and stuff, and then you're going to get rejected. People, a lot of times you're going to get rejected, and sometimes that turn a lot of guys away, you know what I mean, that piss dudes off, because it's like if I'm rejected, then this girl don't like me, and she not talking back to me, then I feel like an idiot, you know what I'm saying, like it's embarrassing. Plus, you got the lonely thing where, ain't nobody giving a guy no attention or giving him no play, and he been lonely as hell. This would turn people in the mental cases with attention, and we go out there and hurt chicks and go, wilding out, stalking chicks out at the club and all this wild shit because rejection level. So a lot of times when you say raised by a bitch or bitch raised, it's almost like Corey saying like guys who their mother wasn't stable enough to get them the right tools to go out there and handle the rejection. You know what I'm saying? Or even a dad to talk to him, a big uncle, and be like, yo, this what women be on. This how it is. And I remember being a little kid. I even said this on my podcast before. Being a little kid. And my father used to tell us, like, man, women get to change their mind at any moment. And you'd be sitting back like, okay. He'd just be constantly drilling this to you. Like, anytime a woman want to change her mind, it don't matter what you doing. It don't matter what moment in it. If she change her mind, she get to change her mind right at the second. So you're older, you're thinking like, well, why men can't change their mind like that? Why women get this whole, they can change their mind objective? Now you get older and you understand that the girls say no, you got to stop. You can't keep going. You know what I'm saying? But, some guys go too far and then they end up getting busted down with all these charges and craziness and the Diddy situations and all that. So a lot of stuff what Corey is saying in this is grand and it's true. And if you coming from a guy perspective, especially guys that understand this, you can really understand what he's saying. But let's get back to it.
Man speak to you like that, this is starting to be more alarming. He's taking it to the next level because he, as somebody who don't know you, expect you to explain more than what he needs to know. Because all he needs to know is you got somebody.
Well, it can.
No, hit it, Craig.
Or you're not interested.
All he needs to know. I'm talking about a man who is respectable. All he needs to know is you got somebody. I'm not saying you can't get somebody who got somebody, but you don't owe him no explanation. If he's trying to pursue you after you say he got somebody, he is supposed to do something amazing, not put you on the spot.
Yeah.
Did you hear what I said?
Yeah.
I got a man. After she say she got a man, you are supposed to do something amazing if you still want her. Not put her on the spot to keep answering your questions and you Cause see, guys who can do things amazing, they get the girls. What's amazing?
It's more than charm.
It's more than charm.
Yeah, because charm.
Some guys have amazing charm. Some guys have amazing money. Some guys maybe feel like if I just get a chance to do this and get to know her a little more, I could get with her. But it's motherfuckers out here who ain't coming with nothing but bitch raised man shit.
And now we go again with another point to stop. You know what I'm saying? So you got Corey really driving reckless on these particular type of guys because, you know, they obviously taint the dating pool with other women. You know, and the women looking at it like, why these guys treat me like this? Why these guys act like that? And then what the hell you gonna say back? Because you don't know these dudes. It's their life. They get to be however they want to be. And a lot of times they're gonna be a little more aggressive to the females and going crazy because they don't have the same acumen to be able to, you know, basically the tools to go out there and say the right things to a girl. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of elements, you know, like you said, if you got money that can help you, if you got swag that can help you, if, you know, maybe looks can help you, money can help, you know, it's different elements, good jobs, you know, females look for elements in men that a lot of us just wouldn't know or how to even connect with because we're not females, you know what I'm saying? It's their thing. It's on their side of the table. So we just basically just trying to like be with these chicks and treat them a way that's gonna make them rock with us, but every time it don't work out. And then sometimes you gotta have the balls just to go find somebody new and get out there and just go back again and find something else, you know, and don't take it so hard if a girl ain't giving you what you want, you know, or giving you the play that you think you deserve. You gotta keep going. So that's why I think the bitch raised thought is really funny and candid, but he gonna keep going on that. Let's see what else he got to say.
I don't like motherfuckers I know who ain't got nothing to offer a bitch talking to bitches. Do that make me a hater?
No.
I'm talking about I know people personally who really be shooting at a woman. It might even be a woman you know,
Right.
which puts you more on the spot.
Right.
Cause they look at you and you don't want to be like, don't fuck with that nigga live with his auntie. And she ready to put him out.
But half the time, though, I've never even said
Some of these
that I
niggas
actually
are
have.
homeless and they homeless bitch looking to put them in, not put them out. They got put in and put out.
I'm just letting you know, when a man speaks to you, be alarmed. If after you tell him you got somebody and he keeps coming at you, there's reason to raise your alarm level a little higher, unless he's coming with something amazing. If he's not coming with nothing amazing, you have to let him know, all right, sir, please. I never want to disrespect you, but you're doing a little too much. Please let me go on about my way.
That's perfect, Corey. There you go, yeah. And half the time, I've never even had.
And then if you go through that process with a guy most times and the guy ain't feeling that, it's gonna be drama. But I mean, you know, it's really just like the rules of the game. You know what I'm saying? Some guys gonna get frustrated when they can't get a girl. Some females gonna get frustrated when they can't get a guy. It's like the rules of the game. It's the way the game go in a relationship world. You know what I'm saying? Everybody trying to pull at each other to get some love affair popping, and every time it don't work out. You know what I'm saying? So people do get pissed off. People will say some wild shit to each other or to another person about that. Like, yo, motherfucker, you ain't showing me, you ain't gonna talk to me. What fuck you? You know what I'm saying? Like, you ugly nigga or you ugly bitch. That is how it go. So, you know, Corey got a point. You know what I'm saying? And that's where he at with that. Let's see what old girl got to say real quick.
Say that I actually have somebody else. My good one that I go to a lot is bad timing. And I'm like, what?
You
It's
don't know what you're talking about.
I
What's your
know.
good one?
Bad timing. I tell them, oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Like if they
Oh,
give
you
me a
saying
nice
what you
compliment,
try to tell them?
I tell them. I say I accept the compliment, and I tell them, wow, you know what I'm saying? Thank you.
Bad timing is gonna
Bad
make
timing.
the average man want to know what the time it is.
No, not really. It's about half and half. About half and half. But but they usually back away because they see it's just she's not interested.
Right.
So
What was you finna say, Craig?
I said, well, bitch raised niggas, you know, their mothers create chaos. They create turmoil. So a defense mechanism that bitch raised niggas develop is they have to find pleasure in it. So they find pleasure, sadistic pleasure, in watching people suffer from the chaos they create. So when they find out a woman has a man, they want to create some sort of off balance or reaction or some sort of struggle in her nature, because that makes them feel empowered that they can create confusion in somebody's life. They don't just do that with the women they fuck with. They do that with the homeboys that they argue with when they're not around them, and they try to sully their reputations. They do that at work with their boss. They always have this superiority complex where they feel like even if it's shit they're not qualified to have, they want to make a play at certain things that have the semblance of power because they feel like they deserve things that they didn't earn. You know what I mean? So that's a personality quirk that all bitch-made niggas have. Anything that doesn't go their way, they try to, you know, they like them bullies in them 80s movies.
Let me give you an example of that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I know a situation with
Well, let's stop that real quick and go into depth about that, because he said a lot of times these guys got mothers that actually start conflict, and then they watch how the conflict play off, and they see what's going on. What up, AV? Good morning. And when you see that and you say that, you like, damn, so these people like to have chaos happen and then watch how it play out around you, and then they do it in other elements, not just at their job, well, not just in a relationship, but even with their homeboys. In any kind of relationship they find themselves in, they want to categorize the situation that they're supposed to have access to something that they didn't work hard to have, or they're supposed to be a part of something that they didn't put their work in to have access to. And it's like, well, if you think it's people like that for real, almost the question is like, you really think it's people like that that's out here trying to make other folks follow their practicals and they really ain't deserving of it, you know what I'm saying, or rocking with what they doing. And it's like, that's why I think this was a great conversation. And Craig Facts, he's going in the deep. Greg Facts talking about the fact that people get this from their mama and all this shit. It's like, I was thinking they were just talking about girlfriend and boyfriend relationship, but it's like, yo, this is a person that got a personality flaw, and they'll put this type of shit out there at any time in order to benefit from it. And we probably know people like that in our lives. And then when you see this stuff kind of play out amongst them, you kind of step away. So it's a form of hate. It's a form of being a hater, you know what I'm saying, or just not wanting to see other people succeed or have something if you don't have access to it. And so Corey gonna give an example so he can give more examples, because this is really what Corey coined. We know this kind of conversation and terminology, and so this is what Corey gonna explain in a scenario. We'll see what he got to say. Let's see.
where a bitch-made nigga, they don't even know that they a bitch-made nigga sometimes. First of all, a bitch-made nigga is a man who was raised up by an ain't shit bitch and he been put out here. He ain't had no real influence from a real man that he was able to grow off of.
Right.
So this is a situation that just had me laughing.
So that really was a great definition of it. So he said a person that really doesn't have a man to get them no guidance and show them nothing. You know what I'm saying? Let's play that again real quick so we don't get too far off to what his particular definition of this is again. Let's go back.
Isn't that bitch raised niggas they fuck with? They do that with the homeboy
And who was raised.
80s movies.
Let me give you an example of that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I know a situation where a bitch-made nigga, they don't even know that they a bitch-made nigga sometimes. First of all, a bitch-made nigga is a man who was raised up by an ain't shit bitch and he been put out here.
All right, let's stop it. You said been raised by an ain't shit bitch and he been put out here. So that's really a harsh, damning statement, because that means he's talking about somebody's mother. So when a guy exhibiting behavior and acting the way he acted and being himself, or whether it's right or wrong, it's like basically other people get to judge that. Other people get to look at you and say, hey man, what the fuck is he acting like this for? You know, but that guy acting like that might not look at it as funny because this is his normal life. This is what he is. This is who he is. It's like, Why you tripping? Why the fuck you starting all this bullshit? Why you keep drama with me? I'm me. I'm just doing me. And it's like, damn, nigga, you act like a whole bitch ass nigga. And it's like, nah, man, nah, you just tripping, you know. So it's dynamics inside friendships that could get this to understanding if a person will let somebody talk to them like that. Because sometimes you speak to a person like that, and it's like somebody that's not a personal friend, and you talk about fighting, damn near fighting to the finish, because ain't nobody trying to have nobody disrespect them like that. But from court perspective, these guys actually exist, and he is pissed off about that. And so it's really funny to have it's really funny to have him make that statement like that. So that's why I'm like, I don't even know, but we're gonna let him continue to talk on this in this one moment. Let me just do what I gotta do right here, and I did it. All right, so let's flip this back and let Corey go a little further, because he's gonna go in depth about his definition.
Had no real influence from a real man that he was able to grow off of.
Right.
So this is a situation that just had me laughing, because I know a bitch made nigga.
Yo, A.A. said, I believe some people could change over time, and should we all do, but there is some morals and values that no matter what, they can't change. I agree with you on that, because, you know, people are people, and you can only know what you know. So if you was raised by a grandmother, or if you was raised by an auntie, or if you was raised by a big sister, that's all you're gonna know. You can't have all this knowledge about street world, or how the dynamics is of dealing with females, or how to, you know what I mean? Because remember, you're a kid. You're just being raised. You're not necessarily knowing everything about life. Somebody's raising you up, and in that raising you up, you pick up traits and understandings, and what you know is what you know. So, you know, it's really like that. But I guess it's a frustration. That's what the black outrage is about. It's actually a frustration that Corey is explaining, and that's what made me want to highlight that particular segment of his podcast, because it's crazy how his mind looks at this particular type of person, and how he explains how this person bothers him. So that's why I thought it was funny, and it would also be something interesting for us to kind of communicate about. So let's flip back and see what Corey got to say.
Type nigga. He ride with the motorcycle crew, right?
Yeah, I know a nigga like that. He's such a bitch made nigga. Don't nobody want him in their motorcycle.
Right. That's what I'm trying to say. So this bitch, I'm gonna make the long story short. This bitch made this straight lame man who swearing now he's like everything, because he a big yoke motherfucker, but he's bitch made. Yeah. He moved in with a woman and start trying to make the woman he moved in her house with, make her 14-year-old son start walking his dogs and clean up after the dog. You know what he said? You live here, you got to earn your keep, and you got to do something, because he fucking his mama. But it took somebody to tell him, hey, he 14 years old, living with his mama in a Section 8 place. He's supposed to be here. Right. You ain't even supposed to be here, buster ass nigga. And you trying to get him to walk your dogs. It's like the bitch ass motherfucker didn't even understand he a bitch ass motherfucker. He couldn't do nothing but look stupid like.
He's oblivious to him, right? He
trying to tell the kid what to do. You coming moving in with a bitch.
Yeah, that kid has no
bringing dogs and expect the kid to be your slave in an apartment that's paid for by the government for the kid and his mama. But these are the motherfuckers that get mad when you don't speak to them like they want you to speak to them in public.
Yeah, you could.
That's why I say it's a societal issue, because I know most of the time, most men are in a bad situation in the city life when you are staying in a neighborhood where there's a Little Caesar's Pizza.
So right there, you can see his perspective on that. He's talking about a guy who moved in with a girl, and now all of a sudden he want to make the child that lives with him, a 14-year-old teenager, go out and start walking his dog, or dogs, plural. So it's like the kid is probably, a little aggressively not trying to do that. He's a teenager, just like any teenager. He looking at it like, oh shit. The whole shit smashed. Let's push it right back up. Give it a little bit more lean. I'm just trying to make sure my shit charging, my shit smashing on me. But anyway, he goes up there and he tells the guy that Avery say, hold up, is I think the dude in the green hoodie main point is people not self-reflecting on themselves. Yeah, that's gonna be hard for a lot of people to do, man, because you have to be trained on how to do stuff like that. You have to know innerly how to go innerly and think about self-reflection. Even that's almost like an exercise that you got to do. But you need sometimes privacy. You need a little bit personal moments, so you can think about your day or think about how you handle moments or handle days or weeks. You know what I'm saying? Because we all interacting and dealing with each other. And so for this guy to sit here and tell a kid to go out and clean up his dogs and walk his dogs, it's like, dude, these your dogs. You made these dogs. They your dogs. You want to have dogs. I don't want no fucking dogs. And now I got to walk your dogs. And he said some guy told him, man, what the hell, that kid supposed to be there. You supposed to be there in no Section 8 house. But man, you supposed to have a home or a place for your own or building a crib for them. So what the hell you living up in their crib for, trying to man around this child, telling him to walk some big ass dogs or little bitty dogs that he ain't even his. You know what I'm saying? What teenager want to do that shit anyway? Kids don't even want to clean their room. Now they want to actually walk a dog around the damn corner for some grown man while you sit in the house, and you think that's teaching a kid responsibility. So in Corey's mind, that's a bitch ass nigga. And that person right there is bogus for coming at a kid like that. So that's why I thought that was funny, and his scenario that he used as a reference point for the reason why he was making this issue up. And he was saying that these guys are raised without a father to give them guidance and to give them leadership to understand how to operate, especially when it comes to females. And the initial point of this conversation that they was having was that a lot of guys get mad at females if they don't get the number, if they don't get a girl to holler at them, like they're trying to talk to a girl, whatever, and then that don't happen. Now it's anger coming behind her saying no. So that's what the conversation derived from. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna give it a little bit more play, see what Corey got to say a little bit more.
If you're anywhere around a Little Caesar's Pizza, that's a neighborhood full of guys struggling.
It's a couple restaurants, cause motherfucker, we ain't got Little Caesars in Arkansas. We nigga, you got motherfucking Coney Islands. You got
a round table.
You got
Wait,
I'm just saying, I'm using them like little areas, where if the man just hanging out in front of these areas, he probably has nothing to offer somebody other than dick, and maybe he can paint. So
all of them is the jokes that Corey rocking with about these guys that be out there like that. They ain't really offering nothing to a female, and then when the girl is at this particular location, then he expecting her to give him some play, and if she don't, then it's like, motherfucker. But it's almost like, look where you standing, look where you at, look where you at, look what the time of the day it is, look what you doing. Like, you expect me to give you some kind of love or be your girlfriend, and you out here kicking it like this, or this is where you be at this time of the day, and look how you probably dressed or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just like that. You know what I'm saying? How. And women get to decide that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, my father always said, women get to say no at any time. Any time a woman get to say no. And so you just have to expect that and respect that. You even can't get mad at it. So I'm going to give it a little bit more play.
Rallies.
what happened? Rallies. If there's a rallies over there, Church's Chicken, yes. If you are around Church's Chicken and a man trying to holler at you, he probably has nothing to offer.
Burger basket.
And they got a motorcycle.
Somebody said piece of pan.
My shit refuses to stop crashing. Refuse.
I'm saying, hey, so I get women worried about who talking to them, but every conversation should give you enough information to know if you need to be trying to deal with them in the first place anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Everything somebody say that come out their mouth, I'm listening to you and I'm studying you. I'm mainly watching you. When you talk to a woman, she be like, you be like,
I was just gonna say
she
that.
been through it.
One of the number one things is the playing victim thing for women, and then the ability, the inability to realize and admit when you're wrong, deal with it, straight on and not creatively try to sidestep any accountability that comes from the mistakes you make. Sometimes we say things and we do things and we're dead wrong. And when we do it, it don't seem like it's dead wrong. But when it's time to deal with the consequences of that, if you're a healthy individual, you can be like, I was wrong about that. I apologize. But if it's always on somebody else, what somebody else did, and that's why you did it, or these are telltale signs of people who fit, in my opinion, the character traits of the people you're describing.
Let me help the guys who are broke, cause I used to be dirt broke. I'm talking about I used to be looking for somebody to lay up off of. But at one time in my life when I was a young man.
Charisma and all that. You
if you're trying to break the ice with a woman and you have nothing, your best chance is to walk up to that woman and say, have you accepted Jesus Christ as your personal Lord and Savior? This is...
That's why I fuck with Corey, because he keep it all the way live from the beginning to the end. And that's funny as hell, because he basically said, I think with that joke, that it's really nothing to say to a person that got those kind of mentality or actions or where they gonna be about hollering at a female. Like, what am I supposed to say? You got to come up with the right words. You got to come up with the right clever actions to get the girl to give you some play. And just yelling out bullshit towards her, all that, it's really showing who you are. And for the females that actually think that a guy at this gas station or a guy at the 7-Eleven or a guy at the damn AutoZone is somebody who you could be possibly having a relationship with in the future, that's not probably the right moment, especially if he hanging there. If he not jumping out his own car, in his own world, in his own mind, living his own life, then it's like, then what he's standing right here, any girl pull up, be like, shit, hey, look at another one, let me walk over here. Hey, how you doing today, sweetheart? And then, oh, you act like that? Come on, that's what fuck you then. And then it's like, damn, what I doing pugging out like that? And William Allen say, but tell the females, and I eat that's funny as a bug. You know that's what they do, Will. You know what I mean? And a lot of times when you really get used to talking to girls, you with your homies. You with your friends. You with guys, y'all young. Y'all might be in high school. You might be younger. Might be older. You going out with your boys. So it's a lot of times you playful with it. You joking, playing. Everybody says something to a girl. Not really having that definition of what they saying to the girl. They just talking. You know what I'm saying? And then now you take that same pretense and mindset to go out here and try to talk to a real female. And none of that shit worked. You know what I'm saying? Timothy said Corey Holcomb first part of his show was great until he told black people to help illegal immigrants hide from ICE deportation. His chat room lit up. I don't think he was saying that in the real side, bro. I know he probably wasn't. I think he probably was joking about that. He probably wasn't saying it on the real side. Like, look, we really got to do it. You got to watch that video again and check out the part of it right before he said that. Keep it in context, because I don't think Corey was saying that. No way. I don't even know him personally, but I would probably vouch to say he was not trying to say that. You know what I'm saying? So, but in other words, you get to see how that played out with how he describing these people and shit and what he think. And then he say, you got to find Jesus. Tell a girl, have you found God? Hey, have you found God? Have you accepted Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior? And see, that sounds funny, but that is also an opener to talk to a female. It's no rules. It's no, this is the way it go. It's like you can do you can say anything. Remember, we're in a country of freedom of speech. So it's not like you're wrong. It's just, is she going to accept it? Because you could even say, well, get out of here, bitch. And she turn around and say, what the fuck you say, your mama, bitch? Be like, yeah, I'd take you to be my mama. You see shit, whatever you say back. And then she laugh, and then all of a sudden, you have a connection. But you like, we really started off on the left foot. It wasn't even like I said the right words. And then it turned into something she probably laughed or maybe came face to face. And then y'all looking at each other and being like, why we here? You don't even know me. You don't know me. Whatever it did. And then you meet somebody. And you like, technically, we met each other off a fucking argument. We met each other off of dismay. We wasn't really meeting each other off of, hi, how you doing? What's up? You want to talk? It's the way it works. The reaction with humans is all going to be different. You know what I'm saying? How people meet. But then you got people meeting on the internet today. And it's a lot more of that happening more over today than back in the past. So now it's like, if you're meeting a person, the first movement could be a catfish moment. It could be meeting a girl and she looking at you like she weird and shit, and you like, what girl acting like this? You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just different elements to this stuff, man. But I'm gonna hit y'all back with another show in a little bit. Make sure you watch Up Here or Down Here, and it'll be some more content for you to keep on following. Black Outrage.